I am Ariane Heloise Hughes. I am a painter based in London. I started my degree in Melbourne because I grew up in Australia. And within the first week I did an oil painting intensive, and they taught me about sort of a grayscale palette, how to mix greys using burnt sienna, yellow ochre, phthalo, ultramarine and titanium white. Oh, and raw umber, of course. And so in order to sort of keep a sense of colour harmony throughout my pieces, that's my core palette. And so whenever I go in with the first layer, I will mix using that range. And then once the piece is evolved and I see how the figures and the shapes are sitting, in the second, third and fourth layers I'll introduce other colours. And it's just a process of sort of like layering and figuring out highlight and shade in order to get the depth that I want within my pieces. Well, I guess my practice is mostly interested in exploring the sort of subject-object narrative and duality that has sort of come into fruition since Descartes. I would love to sort of find a new way to look, sort of a new visual vernacular for desire and for the feminine. It's the reason that the female nude is such a recurring subject for me, is because it's sort of a trope of this sort of duality, like the female is aligned with the passive. By providing critique, looking at it almost ironically at times, and sort of aligning it with the passive, so having it integrated into sort of domestic settings and actually in furniture, can be a way to sort of open this dialogue and this discourse. That's actually the smallest I've ever worked, but I wanted to still get my process and how I layer paint and that sort of thing. So I wanted to focus on details. And I was at a dinner party and the host was making an octopus dish, and I arrived a bit early and I watched as she prepped this like massive octopus, and she was sort of pulling it apart, and it was so slimy and gross but also so beautiful, having the fingers and the tentacles, and also the octopus tentacle in itself sits in this weird space visually, for me at least, where it's like both quite phallic and vaginal, because their long legs, the tendrils, obviously quite phallic, and then the suckers are like openings and orifices. So yeah, and I wanted just something a bit fun, a bit tongue-in-cheek, and something a bit different for me because it was a new scale and I wanted to embrace that.